Hey, what's up, everyone? How you doing? How you doing? So, in one of my previous videos, the one that's where it's titled "I'm 40 and I wasted my life, don't make the same mistake." I just wanted to. This comment keeps coming up, so I just wanted to. Some people say, "Hey, man, don't feed the trolls. Don't feed the trolls." I wouldn't consider all of them trolls. They're just, I don't know. I'll get to what they are, but yeah. So I guess some of these people decided that the most important takeaway it wasn't my message of basically me saying, hey, I'm reflecting back on my 20s and not liking some of the decisions that I made because I'm having to grind harder now as I'm older. Whereas if I had my priorities in order and didn't mess around so much and goofed off, then yeah, I could have, had less stress and it would have been less of an uphill battle. I'm not saying that I never said that I was giving up or anything. That's the whole point. I'm pouring everything into this channel because I want to build a community where men can freely speak with one another and find a place where they belong and hear the truth. And so, because that's that at the end of the day, I am here to seek the truth about everything and just understand the world and how it works and be able to share my thoughts, feelings, and opinions. But the takeaway, it wasn't my message in that video. It was that I had Fortnite on my TV in the background. And I usually turn my TV off, but I just forgot to. But yeah, that's what they wanted to call out of everything that I was saying. They're like, oh well, no wonder he's wasting. He feels like he wastes his life. Look, he's got video games on in the background, and just making these assumptions. So, but yeah, they're not paying attention to the life lessons. They're not, or the reflection, or any of the advice. Just Fortnite, you know, and I mean, I did realize something that this reaction wasn't really about Fortnite. It was about this culture online where men get told that they're worthless if they play video games. I mean, yeah, there's just all these manosphere dudes, the hustle bros, who just keep repeating, the same lines. Don't waste your life, don't play video games, build businesses, hit the gym, dig yourself out of your hole, grind, grind, grind. And yeah, some of it's true, but a lot of it is just noise. Should you dig yourself out of your hole? Yeah, absolutely. Have I been in holes? Yeah, I dug myself out of them. And if I'm in a hole, that's what I do. I dig myself out. I do have better things to do at times than play video games. But yeah, they will say things such as, real men, they don't play video games. But yeah, some adults do ignore responsibilities for gaming. Yes, those dudes and women exist. A lot of people do that. But many men handle their responsibilities and use games as relaxation. No different than, watching a movie or going fishing or watching sports or you got guys going to the bar and stuff for hours, hitting on chicks and just goofing around or talking about, or they're just going there for a beer with their buddy and talking about, what's going on in their life, whatever it is. So I mean, some of these so-called, masculine role models, they'll shame you for Fortnite while they waste time chasing women at clubs, or like I said, sitting at the bar for hours, or binge watching UFC all weekend. At the end of the day, time wasted is still time wasted, no matter what medium it is. But apparently, some wastes of time are socially approved. And video games is not one of them. It's not one of those masculine approved activities. But yeah, I mean, it's not about whether you waste time. It's about whether you're wasting time in a way that they approve of, and I would say that's very weak thinking. And I have followed these manosphere dudes in the past. And I won't lie, some of their words do hit hard. Some of it was motivational, right? Got your blood pumping, got you to go get into the gym and, you know, get after it. But, it does turn into this constant cycle of you suck, you're not good enough until you're rich like me, ripped like me, famous like me, you're a nobody. That messaging, that constant messaging of basically you suck is not healthy. It does take a toll on you. And here's a nuanced take. So yes, they say some things that are true. Yes, they can give good advice, but they also take advantage of men who live in quiet desperation. Men just looking for guidance and brotherhood and a way out. But instead they get shame and impossible standards and a bill for some overpriced course. Right? Like the real world, escape the matrix, all that stuff. I fell for that too. So yeah, I'm never going to sit here and tell you that you suck unless you're me. Like, oh, I'm this this perfect piece of work under museum glass and you need to be like me. No, I will never do that. I'm not above you or anyone. I'm not some guru. I'm just a dude. I live in a 2-bedroom apartment in a slightly sketchy part of town. I mean, it's decent enough. It's kind of weird because there's some, like, my neighborhood's kind of okay, and then you'll move over to a neighborhood that looks okay or better, and then there'll be another one that's like, whoa, it's not that great. So it's a mishmash. It used to be better, but after 2020, things have just really gone downhill in my city. But I digress. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm just a normal guy who's made good and bad decisions. And then decided to turn on a camera and talk about it and be consistent about doing so. And I'm just a dad trying to do right by my kid. That's my starting point. And yeah, I play Fortnite with my son because he likes Fortnite. And because I want to connect with him. He's played all kinds of video games, and that's the thing. It's just whenever you're with your child and they're watching a movie, you're gonna watch it with them. They're watching, a cartoon, you're gonna watch the cartoon with them, and you're gonna you want to learn about some of that stuff so you can have a dialogue with them and be on their level, so you can have a connection with them. I think that's just called being a good dad. I mean, my dad back in the 90s played video games with me. He played Nintendo, some Super Mario Brothers 3 or some Zelda. And I'll never forget that. That mattered to me. So why wouldn't I do the same for my son? And so I just really want to, deconstruct the stigma. I mean, the idea that playing a video game with your kid makes you a loser, I find to be utterly ridiculous. I mean, that bond matters more than any business hustle or six-pack ab. Because my son isn't going to remember if I spent another hour grinding. He's going to remember that I sat next to him, controller in hand, and laughed along with him and had a good time, And yeah, sometimes when my son isn't with me, I'll still play Fortnite. Why? Because it reminds me of him. If I'm missing him, it gives me peace when I play Fortnite. It keeps him close to me when he's not here. And if you want to, call me weak for that, that's fine. But I just call it, that's me being a good dad. And that's a part of fatherhood, especially being a single dad when you're away from your kid and you're missing them. It's something that just a lot of dudes or people in general, women too, will not understand. A lot of people will not understand what it's like being a single dad. What really matters in manhood is fulfilling your responsibilities and taking care of your family and building relationships that matter. Taking care of your health and working hard, but also knowing when to rest. And yeah, some guys live on the hamster wheel, always chasing, always grinding, grind it out, bro. And they still feel empty. I imagine that a lot of these hustle bros still feel empty inside. They're out there making tons of money, spending it, getting with women. That life is just filled with just being in the now, and it is reckless. They do encourage, men to be promiscuous and to, enjoy their 30s and their wealth and all of these ways. And yeah, it might be fun in the moment, but then there are still consequences for those actions. It could either be the consequence of, yeah, that was fun, or, oh no, I might have gotten her pregnant, or, that's the thing. It's just, you still are vulnerable to end up like me, being a single dad, dealing with, having a child with somebody that you shouldn't be having a child with, right? Being in a position that you don't want to be in because you decided to make this decision. You're not just going to just be this maverick going out into the world and not come out unscathed. It's a matter of when, not if. If that is what you're consistently doing, you're doing your hustle grind stuff, but then you work hard, play hard, all that stuff, right? But yeah, I mean these men, it's they measure themselves by their bank accounts and their bench presses. Kind of like what I talked about in an earlier video, where they change the outside but not the inside. They're working on the exterior, but the interior is still messed up. But a man who knows who he is, who takes care of his people, and who enjoys life without shame, that man is fulfilled. And I'm not saying that you can't hustle and go to the gym and do all that stuff. You can do all of that. I'm just saying it's there is a mentality there. You know who I'm talking about. There is that guy. Yo, bro, why are you playing video games? You should be learning how to code, or, learning Tai Chi or Muay Thai. Like, dude, just give it a rest, man. You sound ridiculous. You're just repeating lines that you heard from one of the Tate brothers or something. But yeah, I mean, there is, the acceptable downtime. So, if I'm sure if I had, sports on the back, in the back on my TV, it would have been fine. Nobody would have said anything, right? If I had a Lions game going on mute or something, that would have been acceptable. But yeah, I mean, watching movies, going fishing, hunting, sports, the bars, why is gaming the only forbidden fruit here? Why is it the only one thing where men get labeled weak or time wasters? Well, I'll tell you why. Because it's an easy target. It's visible. It's associated with kids. But the truth is, all leisure looks like wasted time if you frame it in the wrong way. If you're neglecting your job and your kids and your health, then yes, you need to fix that. But if you're handling business and you want to relax with a controller for a few hours, no man should shame you for that. It's cheesy. We're sick of hearing it, man. These bros, Yo, bro, what are you doing, man? It's always just the video game. It's the one thing. Anything else is fine. It's just video games. Can they be addicting and take over your life? Yeah, but so can booze, and plenty of these dudes are drinking. So can being promiscuous, being reckless in that manner. That can be addicting. Money can be addicting. Spending it. Come on now. I'm not going to tell you to be me. I'm not. I'm going to say be the best version of yourself, whatever that looks like. If video games are a part of your downtime, just own it. I'm owning it. I love Fortnite. It's fun. And it helps you, just like me, connect with your son, cherish it. Because I do. Don't let the shame merchants online dictate your worth as a man. Because they can shut up. Yeah, I'm 40. I've made mistakes. I've also made progress. I'm still here. I'm still standing. And I'm still fighting for my son. And if Fortnite in the background makes you dismiss all of that, okay, cool, man. I don't care. I love it. It's fun. You should try it sometime. Okay, peace.